Welcome back to your favorite Sacramento sports show.
Beam City Sports.
Yes, sir. We are back at the Beam City Sports Bar here in the backyard. Not feeling too good about our Kings right now. 4 losses in a row, but feeling good because I got my boys next to me. Luke, Devin, how are you guys feeling?
Same as you. Not really feeling too great, but every time we step in this backyard, every time we talk about, or every time we shoot this show, I have a great time with you guys.
Love it.
It's pretty awesome.
Love it.
My turn. No, I'm just kidding. I'm feeling good. Yeah, like you guys said, I mean, it's been pretty tough right now, but like we said on Wednesday, we're trying to stay positive. You know, don't know. Once we look at the schedule, it's kind of tough to do that.
Pretty tough to do that.
We're going to try our best to make it a fun show because, you know, it's not really a fun show on the court, so we're going to bring you guys a fun show.
That's the facts right there. We're going to make this a fun show, even though the Kings have lost 4 in a row. But today we're going to be going over that. Upcoming games for the Kings, as we always do. Luke's Lock of the Week, Dev's Disappointment. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about there. Then we'll go around the NBA and close the show out with some debates, so should be a fun one. But yeah, we can start with the Kings losing to the Golden State Warriors on Thursday. Say we start there instead of last night. Both games were very ugly, but say we start with the Warriors loss on TNT in Golden State. Man, this was a tough one. What's some initial thoughts?
I mean, immediately when I was watching the game, 3 straight threes from the corner, wide open. I was like, this is gonna be not a fun game to watch. Like I'm holding myself back right now because I'm about to pop my lid.
He's about to go in.
But immediately Draymond with 2 of them, 2 straight threes right there. Like, get a freaking hand, get a hand in his face.
Yeah, I mean, Draymond killed us. 23 points for Draymond, 4 of 7 from 3 is just absurd. That's Game 7 Draymond numbers right there. Yes. 4 threes from Draymond? Are you kidding me? I'm blown away. Dev.
That's what makes it more tough to swallow. Is like we're picking guys to leave open, and I understand that's what they're trying to do on defense right now. But it just seems like everybody they pick just goes off that night at any given moment. I mean, Draymond hitting 2 straight threes from the corner to start the game. Like, I was sick, bro. I was like,
sick.
That's how you already know it's going to be a pretty tough game, and that kind of just like set the theme for that game and the next game, the Suns game, is just watching guys shoot wide open threes, and you know that is what makes it like the toughest to watch as a fan, watching on TV, and makes me want to pull my hair out and turn the game off. So, yeah. I mean, it's really bad right now, and it seems like there's not that much effort or intensity.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, we lost this game 130 to 104. That's a big point differential there. But we locked up Steph. I mean, we didn't let him get the ball most of the game. We were face guarding him. Whoever we had on him, had Keegan on him, had Key on, and also Zach LaVine had some possessions on him, and they were face guarding him very well. He only went 2 for 6 from 3. He did break he made NBA history though with 4,000 3-pointers. Of course,
respect.
Yeah, respect to the GOAT.
Yep.
But only 11 points for Steph. It was everyone else that killed us. Draymond 23. Buddy was 16, and Kuminga in his first game back killed us with 18 points.
8 people in double digits.
Jesus, 8 people in double figures. And Jimmy was not one of those guys. He only had 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. But yeah, it was really the Kings losing this game, which I also feel like happened last night. I feel like we lost the game more than the Suns or the Warriors, went out and beat us. I think we're losing these games because of how we're playing.
I agree with that for sure. The defense especially, like, I think it's really tough to put yourself in a hole to start every game and then, put those guys in that come in with energy off the bench. And even just Keon, like, I would like to see him probably start, like, for the rest of the season. I don't care how or who it's for anymore. Like, you just can't put yourself in that deep of a hole to start the game. They do come back from it into that second quarter to start the half, but once that half starts, it's the same thing.
Both games. In this Warriors game, we came back in the end of the first half, made the game. Also, last night against Phoenix, did the same exact thing. And then we come out in the second half with no energy, turning the ball over. I'm going to go on a rant here pretty soon about it. So
it was, our starters also, DeMar, good game, 23, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. But then Keegan, Valanciunas, and then Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, all under 10 points right there. And then the bench was the only thing that stepped up. Keon Ellis, 18, Trey Lyles, 11, Jake, 13 with some good threes, trying to will us back into this win. But our starters, right? Keegan, come on, dude.
Yeah.
We need you to get hot. We need you to get hot.
Keegan had 6 points, 2 of 10 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. In all these games in this 4-game losing streak, we're trying to get Keegan involved early. Last night it was working. We got Keegan some buckets early in the game, but he's just shooting a lot of shots, and that's something that we want him to do. So it's a weird spot to be in where you're trying to motivate your young guy to take more shots and be aggressive and show the world how good of a player you are, but then it takes away from guys like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. Both of these games, they weren't getting any shots up until DeMar didn't take his first shot last night until middle of the second quarter.
Yeah, that's definitely not a sustainable thing you want to do. And then especially Zach LaVine in the Warriors game, I think he ended 5 of 6, 4 of 4 from 3.
Yeah.
It's like it's a good game, but we need him to take more shots, especially in a game where we weren't hitting that many threes and he was the only one doing it. So I'd like to see him get up a few more. And they shouldn't focus on him. That's where it comes to needing a true point guard that knows who to distribute it to, when to do it, and everything like that. And that's just not something they have right now. And we said on Wednesday, you could see Malik was trying to do it. I feel like yesterday he started the game well, trying to get everybody involved, but then it kind of just keeps falling apart, like we're saying.
Yeah. Definitely disappointing for all Kings fans right now. But DeMar in that Warriors game, you said it, 23 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Keon had 18 points. Got to give Keon a little shout out.
Yep.
6th or 7th now after last night in the league in 3-point percentage. And that's top 10. And he's also top 10 in the league in deflections. And there's only 2 players in the league that are doing that right now. And it's Keon Ellis and Nikola Jokic. So got to give him some love there. Keon's having a great year, even though the Kings as a whole, I can't say we're having a great year.
No.
We're 500 right now. But yeah, things are not looking good for the Kings. Schedule coming up is really tough too.
I'm gonna say we test out Keon in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Coming up because
We have to do something.
We got to do something. We got it.
Malik, we put all this, all this faith in him being our true point guard, being our main facilitator, and in the Warriors game, only 7 points, 3 of 13 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3, and 4 turnovers. And then Zach LaVine was also handling the ball a lot. And that takes away from his scoring. He only had 14 points. And like Devin said, 4 of 4 from 3. We need him. If he's 4 of 4 from 3, why not, get some more shots up?
Yeah.
I think he's trying to keep that percentage up a little more than we even know. He's shooting 44% from 3, which is top 5 in the league right now. And I hope Rich Paula's agent isn't going, and saying, hey, if you're going to take some threes the rest of this year, make sure they're good shots, because that 3-point percentage is a big part of getting paid. And, he's taking shots and he's making them, but we need him to be more aggressive and take more initiative on the floor.
Like you said, that takes away from his shot.
Yeah.
And I feel like he needs to shoot more, obviously, but then I feel like I'm not really that comfortable with him handling the ball
Not
anymore.
at all.
It just seems like when he's getting picked, it's just laziness. to
Lazy.
me.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's just straight laziness. 5 turnovers in the Warriors game for Zach LaVine.
Seems like Moody and GP2 were picking him every time he brought the ball up.
Every time. It
Also,
seemed he didn't want the ball.
It was 5 turnovers in the first 6 minutes for the Kings.
Yeah.
The Kings had 5 turnovers in 6 minutes.
That's insane.
Playing carelessly for the past 2 games. It's like there's no effort out there on the court right now.
Yeah, and the defense is even worse. We could jump into the offense, but the defense is just as bad. We're letting everyone kill us on the floor. The Warriors, like you said, so many guys in double figures. Guy Santos, I could say Guy Santos is officially a Kings killer. He's only played in 2 games against the Kings, and it was the game after All-Star break when we were in Sac, and Guy went crazy.
Yeah.
And then the last game, 10 points, 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. He's a good player, man, but damn, Kings killer already for
Seems
Guy.
like their whole bench is post,
GP2, 3 of 4
Moody,
from 3 for
GP2
is crazy. He's been shooting the ball well, but damn, 3 of 4 from 3. Hey, it's easy when you're just getting wide open looks and you can just take a dribble and look around and look at the crowd, see what's going on, and then shoot the ball. It's a lot easier to shoot when you don't have anyone, trying to guard you at all. So it's just sad right now.
And then Buddy Hield dribbling up the court, just taking it. And then he sees a wide open 3-point line.
Yeah.
Malik and Jonas down low. They're pointing at the same guy. They're just he's right there. Go step up to him. Step up. Put a hit. Oh my god.
Buddy's no one's made more 3-pointers over the last 5 years than Buddy Hield. So if that doesn't tell you something.
He's going to do it against the Kings, too.
Obviously, he's going to do it against the Kings. He loves killing the Kings. But yeah, we did go down 15 early in the first quarter. Turnovers, Draymond threes, Quentin Post killing us early. Then we go down 20 in the second quarter. But like we said, they get back in it in the end of the second quarter to end the half on a 17-4 run, and ending that with a 12-1 run to end the half. Still ended the half down 10 after all that. After all that, shout out Cat. Still down 10 at the half. So
and
that's
they
just
came
crazy.
out and went right back down like 15. Like, just in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
It's really embarrassing.
We started Trey Lyles in the second half of the Warrior game instead of Jonas. Jonas. I mean, I love Jonas, man. He's been a big part of this team since we got him, but he's a turnover machine, man.
Yeah.
He's a turnover machine. He's an illegal screen setting machine. At least 2 a game from him. He's a foul machine as well. He at least 3 or 4 fouls a game in his limited minutes. Last night he only played like 12 minutes, had 4 fouls and 3 turnovers. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's rough for the Kings. Jonas, we're putting a lot of faith into him, and he played really well without Domas, but like there's just a lot of times that he just makes a lot of mistakes.
I think when he's coming off the bench, he doesn't really care about like the foul numbers.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean, okay, I don't really care about that either, but we do need you to be the backup center for the whole game and not just, some of the game. But, I mean, I feel like in the Warriors game, they got sucked into trying to do what the Warriors were doing, which was playing small. They played small from the start of the game. And Quentin Post didn't play much in that second half, I don't think, because they were going small, and the Kings just tried to match that. And we've always talked about how when the Warriors were good winning championships 2 years ago, like, that's just something you can't do against them is try to play into what they're doing against you. And I feel like they got sucked into that a little bit too much.
I agree with that. They definitely tried to play the Warrior style, and they always do that when they lose to the Warriors.
I also don't see any talking on defensive side. There's no communication going on. I don't hear anybody.
No one.
No voice going on. There's usually a hot mic going on. I hear somebody yelling out.
Yeah.
And the past 2 games, there's nothing going on.
That's a great point. And we need Doug Christie to step up.
Doug Christie needs to step up, too.
Doug Christie, I'm disappointed in what Doug Christie's having this team playing like these last couple games. There's a lot of problems. Like we said, Levine not being the aggressor, turning it over because of any pressure. He's not a point guard, but he can handle the ball. You got some great handles, Zach, but damn, just getting picked like this is just embarrassing. In Malik, he's just trying his heart out, man. Every game he's trying so damn hard, but sometimes when you try too hard to make something work, you start forcing things.
Yeah.
And then that's not going to go good ever. So
he was having such a great year to start in the role that he was in, and then came into a starter role, and then was even doing really good in that. We almost had 4 players averaging 20 points in the starting lineup at that time.
Yep.
And then you kind of just in the middle of the season, all of his responsibilities just kind of like grew and shifted, and now like you said, I think he's under a ton of pressure, and he's trying really hard. We could see that, but it's not coming together at all.
Yeah, not at all. He's forcing everything out there, missing shots. I think now after last night, he's 0 for his last, I want to say 15 from 3.
That's what really sucks is I've noticed that maybe since he's got hurt, I feel like the balance in his shot isn't very short on everything.
Short on
no legs.
Yeah, and I mean you're playing a back-to-back, but I mean everyone does. So.
Yeah. I mean even in the Warrior game too.
Yeah.
Like those. I feel like maybe that toe or maybe the whole foot. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like the lower half isn't really working in his shot right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Shoot, I had something on my mind. The birds were distracting me.
Yeah, they're chirping today. Well, I guess I can jump into a little rant. There's a lot of problems with the Kings offense, and there's problems on both sides of the floor, but on the offensive side I've noticed it, especially starting in that Warriors game. You look at how the Warriors play offense, they play outside to inside. They get Draymond in the post, right? And they want to work. It's not like Draymond's ever going to post up and go get his own bucket.
Yeah.
They get Draymond close to the hoop, and everything's happening around that. They got Steph running off multiple screens. They have all these different plays running off the ball when Draymond's sitting in the post and looking to pass. And they just have counters on counters on counters on counters, so the flow never stops. Like, something's always happening. Even if Steph gets double teamed, there's going to be an open spot right there. Or if that's not open, then that's going to be open. That's just how you have to run your offense, and the Kings do the exact opposite. It's so much ISO ball, and just relying on beating your defender one-on-one to create offense, and that just leads to so many turnovers, leads to guys like Malik jumping in the air to make passes. leads things like Zach LaVine getting picked, dribbling the ball too much on the outside. That's how DeMar DeRozan doesn't get a shot until the middle of the second quarter. And that's just the offensive side. I can go in way deeper on the defensive side because it's even worse. But it's not a good flow out there.
I think that's a great point. Like, the last few games that Domas has played before the injury, I just feel like when they get it to him in the post, there's no more cutting.
Yeah.
Like, Keegan's cutting a little bit, but there's not much cutting from Zach, not much from DeMar. I mean, DeMar's not really going to do that much anyway, but it just seems like they're getting it to him, which is what they want to do. And, he's their offensive hub, but there's no more action off of that. It's just get him the ball, and then, he's either going to go to work and kick it out to somebody who's not open because they're standing in the same spot they were when he got the ball.
Yeah.
When we don't have any pace, that's when we all get lackluster and we turn the ball over. Every time we pick up the pace, that's when we were making the comeback. Yeah. We were running up and down the court, running circles around them. But then we all of a sudden slow down, give the ball to DeMar at the top of the paint, and then he backs him down, and we slow. And it's horrible. And then there was another play that I remember. 4 Kings players on like each corner of the key. 3 Warriors players out wide open. So then Buddy Hield dribbles up, and then he's about to drive in the paint. And these 4, I think it's Keegan, Jonas, Keon, and then Trey, I think. All trying to guard Draymond down low, and then they have 3 wide open three. Oh my gosh, pissing me off.
Yeah, that's what happens when the Warriors, run their offense. Like I said, they want to get Draymond in that post, and that just creates open looks for everyone else. Even though everyone knows Draymond's not going to, back his defender down and do a post hook over him. Just getting closer to the basket opens up so many things from the outside of the floor as well. And the Kings, I feel like when we played through Domas a little more, even in the Mike Brown era, we did that a lot more. The dribble handoffs, getting Domas in the post, getting guys cutting off the ball, and now it's the complete opposite. Of the Warriors offense, you could just see how different each team was running the pace on each side of the floor. And it was just like when the Kings just rely on all the ISO ball, it just leads to nothing but chaos, and not good chaos. Sometimes Malik, you said it earlier in the year, Dev, you got to live with Malik and the chaos that he brings, because most of the time it's good chaos and things are pushing the pace, getting other guys involved, making highlight plays, and we just don't see any of that anymore. It's the opposite. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they don't run in transition anymore. Somebody gets the rebound, and it's either DeMar or Zach LaVine walks it up the court. Yep. Malik's been trying to get it up the court a little bit faster. I feel like he just came back from the injury, but it just, nobody's with him. I feel like when he's getting up the court, it's maybe him and one other person up the court, and everybody else is kind of, jogging up. Or like I said, it's get the ball to DeMar or Zach, and they kind of just walk it up the court and walk into the offense. We're starting the offense with about 16 to 15 seconds left on the shot clock, and then they're like, all right, now let's get into whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Or it's the opposite. Zach just dribbles up and then shoots the ball immediately, and we don't use any of the clock. Yeah, no, it's pretty tough.
Well, is there a solution to this? I mean, I think we need to get Domas, more involved. Last night was his first night back from injury. He had 12 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, so it tripped up for Domas. But I just don't think we have a number one guy. I know we have a bunch of guys that can score the ball, and Zach is great, DeMar is great, Domas is, I think, our best player. But you see these other teams, like a team like Memphis, they have a guy like Ja Morant, and they have so many great building pieces around that. But when Ja Morant plays, they all know he's going to be getting the majority of the shots. Yeah. We're going to play around him. We're going to help him make his life easier. We're going to play great defense. We're going to do all these other things to impact the game. And with the Kings, it seems like we have a bunch of number 2 options that want to be the number 1, but then also take a back seat to a guy like Keegan in last night's game against the Suns. 14 points, all in the first half. And he's taken so many shots, which we like, but also that just gets guys like Zach LaVine not touching the ball for a majority of the game. DeMar not taking a shot till the second quarter. And it's just we don't have a number 1 guy that we can build around and get role players to hustle around. It's like we're all similar players that aren't like hustle guys. We have Keon and Keegan who are hustling. And, Malik plays his heart out, but he's just not Malik is a 6-man.
Laravia too. I feel
Laravia also.
Everybody coming off the bench, it's like immediately you could see gives more effort than the starters, and it's kind of disgusting.
Diving on balls, running up and down the. No, yeah, it's we need a captain, like straight up need a captain to bring the team together, bring a huddle together every time the ball stops. We barely get any huddles.
We don't do that.
We don't get any huddles.
You see the good teams do that.
Yeah.
You see teams like the Bucks do that. We'll see them in a couple days. They do that. Giannis is their best player, and he's their leader as well.
Yeah.
And we don't have that. We don't have a leader. And honestly, I don't know who our best player is most nights, and that's a problem.
It's random every night.
It's random every night.
Every night. Ever since the trade, it's just like, all right, you can go off tonight. You can go off. Here you go.
Hey, Zach have 40 this night. DeMar next night have 30. And I mean, we thought that would be good. Having multiple guys that can drop 30 on any given night, it's good. But then on a night like last night, no one takes the reign of being the guy, and then other guys don't play good around that. So. I mean, Domas is our best player, but he's a number 2. He's not a best player on a team type of player. He doesn't want to be. 12 points for Domas, I mean, he's not a scorer. You need someone who's going to be consistent.
It sounds like you kind of want to blow up the team a little bit. Maybe get a number 1.
I mean, that would probably take another 17 years, though. If we get rid of all these guys,
dude,
I don't really see a way where we could just... I mean, maybe the NBA would bless us and we tank 1 year and get a number 1 pick and then get a guy to build around, but...
Shout out the Spurs.
Yeah, shout out the Spurs. Dude. Damn.
Fox is out, so now they're bottom 10. They're in the lottery almost.
They're going to get a great pick, and they have the Hawks.
Yeah. And, they have 2 lottery picks.
2 lottery picks. But, yeah, I mean, Zach LaVine was a minus 21 in the box, worst on the team. He had 21 points, though, 7 of 13 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. So, I mean, the percentages were all good. He didn't have that many turnovers this game, but... And this Suns game was the defense for me.
Yeah.
It was all defense.
I think when he's not in a rhythm offensively, he doesn't really try on defense.
Same with DeMar.
Same with DeMar. They're both those kind of guys where if they're feeling themselves on offense, then that's gonna make them try at least a little bit more on defense. And we've seen when they are it's good defense, but you can't just wait for you to have a good night offensively to then be like, oh, I want to play defense now.
Yeah, and I mean, Zach has all the tools to be one of the best defenders in the league, and I think Doug Christie sees that in him as well. I noticed in the Warrior game, he put Zach on Steph for, some possessions and said, go face guard him out there, don't let him touch the ball, and I think Zach did great. But when Zach is guarding, Ryan Dunn in the corner, who killed us last night, or a guy like Bradley Beal, who just sits on the three-point line, Zach will always go over and be lazy, go double-team the guy who's driving, when Malik is guarding him just fine, and leave Bradley Beal wide open for 3. Tyus Jones wide open for 3. The amount of times I saw that last night was insane.
Yeah.
And it's all DeMar and Zach. I don't even mean to throw shots like that. Love them both, but damn, defense is just absurd.
And then DeMar, no effort on the board either.
No God.
Effort.
That was a big part.
So many offensive rebounds given up just to, 3 points.
Almost every single time. I rewinded it most of the time last night, seeing, okay, who left this guy wide open in the corner for 3? Whose fault was it that they got this offensive rebound? Half the time it was DeMar, half the time it was Zach. Yep. So, I mean, we knew this coming in, that they're great scorers, and this is the problem they had with the Bulls, was the defense, but damn. They just don't even give any effort.
Well, and Draymond took so much advantage of that. He hit a couple floaters driving in, and I'm like, okay, if he's doing that, it's tough. But he just knew every time that no matter who it was, somebody was going to help from the corner.
Yeah.
All he had to do was drive and kick it out to the corner. And if somebody helps over to the corner, then they just made one more pass to the wing, and it's just they're helping way too much from the corner. I feel like it stopped a little bit.
Early in the year, we would say that a lot.
Yeah, and they were on that good stretch, and it stopped a little bit. And now, whether it's laziness or just whatever it is, it's came back, and it's killing them every single night.
Killing us. Well, we did lose this one 122-106. Like we said, from the Warrior game, came back, made it a game, got it to, I think, a 2-point game, a 4-point game, in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And then third quarter came out and just gave it up.
Open threes again.
Yep. The rotations are just horrible. We can't guard a simple pick and roll with their rookie center who some nights doesn't even play. Iguodala, I mean, he's a hustle guy, but last night Iguodala was a plus 23 in the box score. Plus 23, so that means when he's on the floor, they're outscoring the Kings by 23 points. You know why? Because he's hustling and he's getting the offensive rebounds. And we can't guard a simple pick and roll because the defensive rotations are always late, or they don't even go.
There's not even a rotation.
Yeah.
I don't see any rotation at all. They're all cemented right there on the floor, right in front. It's ugly.
Well, there was a couple times where, they did the simple pick and roll. I think it was D-Book and Iguodala. And, you double D-Book on the perimeter. Jonas would jump out at him. And then Malik would get over to go help on Iguodala like way too late. And then he'd foul him or get an easy bucket. So it's no hustle, no heart.
Personnel too.
Yeah.
That seems like a good idea until the guy going down to help on the drive is Malik Monk.
Yeah.
And he's just not like an intimidating figure
Yeah.
on help. Like maybe if it's Keegan, maybe that's a little bit better, but I mean, most of the time it's just they kind of don't have the personnel, I feel like, to do what they want to do completely on defense.
Yeah. I mean,
they're not. Nobody's really using their body either.
Yeah.
Like I know all the calls we kind of get screwed with a lot of calls the last few games, but we need to be more physical. Again, like we always talk about being tough. We don't have the tough guy. We don't have the guy to kind of push in that motivation to kind of shut him down.
Yeah.
And like Malik, he can help down low, but everybody's just going to run into him. It's not going to go our way.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that we don't have a really tough guy, an enforcer type of guy when Plumlee fouled Sabonis early in the game.
Exactly.
All we did was go help Sabonis up, not say a word to Plumlee, let him elbow the hell out of Sabonis, who just came back from an injury, and no one, stood up and said anything. And then we also let guys like Ryan Dunn had 4 steals last night, their rookie wing, who he's been really good this year. But, I mean, 4 steals. I thought we had good ball handlers on this team, but we just don't. We don't have anyone to run the offense.
The ball handling seems kind of lazy at points, and then the passing, too. Like, there's a lot of just intercepted passes that they kind of go to fake the pass and then make that same pass, and the defender's already there, and they're just jumping in the lanes every time. And that they can't get back on defense. I feel like that's kind of lazy too. Like I saw one, I think Zach got it stolen from him, and then he kind of just Keon came from the paint, ran and kind of caught up to the guy making the layup, but Zach kind of just watched him run up the court, kind of walk down there, and then got the ball, walked it back up the court. Like there's just they need to have a sense of urgency. And nobody does except for maybe 1 or 2 guys off the bench and then maybe Keegan. But everybody needs to play with that, and they're just not playing with that right now. And it could get ugly in the play-in if this is how they're going to be playing.
Yeah.
If we're going to be in the play-in.
Yeah.
Like at this rate, we're not even going to be there.
Well, we're lucky because the Mavs are right behind us right now, but they have like 6 players. They might have to forfeit a game because they don't have enough players, which is actually insane.
That would be huge for us, though. Like, I feel bad for them, but...
Well, they're losing pretty much every game they play, so, I mean, they don't really have, intentions of making it with nobody on their team, but the Suns are right behind them, so that's probably going to have to play them probably in the play-in coming up.
Still play them one more time to end the season, right?
Last game of the year. Well, Colin Gillespie also came in. He was a plus 15 in just 11 minutes.
That's insane.
And him and Iguodala, they came in right away, and all it was hustle. Straight hustle. Colin Gillespie is the shortest guy on the floor, not the most athletic guy. He doesn't have anything to his advantage except how hard he plays. And he was guarding DeMar on the perimeter in one possession, and DeMar was trying to post him up lazy, and he just picked his pocket. And that just led to easy points for them, and that's why he's a plus 15 in the box score. And all of our players are minuses in the box score. Malik Monk was, our best guy in that category, and he was a -4. And he did play the most minutes on the team, so Malik actually did have a pretty solid game. 4 turnovers, though, and 0 of 8 from 3. So 18 points, though. 5 assists. I mean,
8 for 32 from 3-point line as a team.
8 for 32 from 3.
And the high school team can do better than that.
Yeah, and the Suns shot their best percentage from 3 on the year and made the most threes they've made in a game this year. How many times has that happened to the Kings this year?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Probably more.
Because I think there's been at least like 4 games where people have hit 23 plus threes on us.
Yeah. So every night the Kings play, we shoot one of our worst percentages from 3, and then the other team will always have their best night because we just, we can't guard a simple pick and roll. We don't have any rotations. DeMar doesn't get back on D. Levine doesn't hustle. Jonas is, going to set 5 illegal screens a game. It's rough. All right, well, I guess we can take a break on the Kings. We'll be back in a sec.
Cheers.
All right, we are back, and we're going to be talking about the Kings' upcoming games. Memphis coming to Sac on Monday to play the Kings. Ja Morant has been playing great lately. He had 44 last night. And then we play the Cavs on Wednesday. They just don't lose, man. They don't lose to anyone. And then the Bulls on Thursday in a back-to-back. So that's the next 3 games, all at home for the Kings. Are we gonna get a win on Monday against Memphis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're winning on
Feeling
Monday.
confident?
Yes, we're winning on Monday.
Need it.
We're going to go, and we're going to change the luck of the Kings. We'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be in the building
We'll
for
be
that.
in the building.
Dev, you feeling confident on Monday?
Not really. I mean, at least they have a homestand coming up. I mean, that kind of gives me a little bit of confidence, but just the way they're playing right now, and then especially playing all these good teams coming up who are playing well, I mean, it's just wrong time, wrong team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like coming back home, we have been struggling at home, which sucks. But I think they're going to be on a different energy level coming back, and I'm pretty sure they're pissed.
Yeah.
I don't think they're happy with 3 losses over 16, 18 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's they're going to come in playing with a chip on their shoulder, and I think we're going to win by like at least 10.
Damn, that's ballsy to say.
It's going to happen. Like, it happens all around the NBA.
Yeah.
Jazz did it, or the Magic did it the other night. They came back, and they were struggling, and then played with a chip on their shoulder and got the dub.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Doug Christie can light a fire under this team, because I've been really disappointed with what Doug is doing, especially on the defensive end. Known as a defensive guy his whole career, and then you let guys like DeMar just knock it back on defense, and let guys shoot corner threes all night. You need to get these guys more motivated on the defensive end, and then the offense will come easier, because you guys said it earlier in the show, when we're playing our best, when we're playing fast, and that's when defense leads to offense.
Yep.
Playing fast, getting out in transition, easy buckets. Let Zach show that athleticism in running the pace, and not just in the half court getting picked all the time.
Well, yeah.
Stop doing stupid stuff in transition too, because I mean, I saw Malik throw a lob to whoever it was last night, and it was nowhere close, and they were down 15 at the time, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, that's a chance to get a bucket and get some momentum, and then you throw a lob that didn't even get anywhere close.
Yeah.
That made me a little sick.
We have such a fast team. Like, I don't know why we don't use it more.
Yeah.
I mean, besides like DeMar getting a little old, but like when we have Keon out there, Zach out there, Malik out there, it's such a fast team, and I don't know why we don't utilize that more.
I know that's how we were so good a couple years ago, was pushing the pace at the fastest pace in the league when we made the playoffs, and now we're not doing that anymore.
Back down to mid.
Hopefully Domas can take more of a lead role coming back from the injury last game. Kind of still have to get his feet under him a little bit, but he still had a triple-double, so hopefully he can start handling the ball a little more, making things easier for guys on offense, and also just being more of a leader. You said no one's talking on defense, and I think Domas does a great job of that. The whole beginning of the year, I feel like Domas was the only guy really talking on defense, making an impact. Even though he's not the best rim protector or anything like that, he still, is a leader and can get guys in the right spot. And last night, that did not happen at all.
No.
So, yeah, hopefully the Kings can win. I say we go 2-1 in the next 3, losing to the Cavs. I don't think anyone can beat the Cavs right now.
Not right now.
Yeah.
No. So you think we beat the Grizzlies?
I think we beat the Grizzlies on Monday just because we're going to be there.
I like that.
But, yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be a nice little 3-game homestand right there. 7-game homestand coming up, though.
7-game homestand. Bucks are in there. Celtics are in there. Thunder are in there. Doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, at least they're, like I said, at least they're at home, though. You kind of want to play, if you're going to play these good teams at this point, at least have some sort of home court advantage. So, I mean, I like that. But if they get off to a good start against the Grizzlies on Monday, then, I mean, hopefully they could keep that rolling into the next 7 games at home and go on a run when they really need to. So
They play the Celtics Thunder back to back.
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
Ooh, need one of those, but that's damn near impossible.
Yeah,
to beat either of those two teams. But we're gonna jump into some fun debates. So we'll be right back. All right, we are back, and we got one of our members back. Alec back in the building on Beam City Sports. How you feeling?
Yes, sir. I'm feeling good. How we doing?
We're good. Just
welcome back.
Depressed about the Kings, but we're over it now. We're gonna get into the rest of the NBA. So yeah, what's on your mind?
All right. Well, first, let me get my handy dandy notes out real quick. I got some questions for you boys.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So on social media, I've been seeing a lot about Jayson Tatum, and so. Obviously, the debate right now is, SGA versus Jokic, just because that's who's the two most likely MVPs. But my question would be, do you guys think Jayson Tatum's ever going to get an MVP?
That's a good question, because you can't really have a better year than he's having. I mean, he's averaging like 28 points a game. They're the second best team in the East, but we all know they're really probably the best team in the East. So I want to say yeah. I think he's going to get one eventually, but I mean, he's had great years already. There's not really a lot he can do to like improve. Mm-hmm. So it really just revolves around the rest of the league, I think.
Okay.
And like a guy like Shai is going to get it this year, in my opinion. And then Jokic has already got it so many times. The voters' fatigue might come into a factor and be a part to why Tatum could win it in the future.
I agree. Yeah. I think he should. And I mean, yeah, like you said, having a great year this year. They're putting his stats up next to the Bron years in Miami when he was winning MVP. So I mean, obviously he is deserving of it now, I'd say. But I think so, and I want him to, honestly.
Yeah. What about you?
I want him to for sure, but in the grim reality of it, I don't think he will
Ever?
I don't think he will ever, because he's in the peak of his career right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not going to get much better than where he is right now. And you have to average 30 points a game nowadays to get MVP.
Yeah.
He did that one season already back in 2022, 2023, and with the same stats pretty much he still has right now. It's still, I mean, he just won't keep going up, getting better than all these young guys in the league.
Well, that's kind of the reason I brought it up too, because let's say SGA does win it this year. Mm-hmm. Next year, if Jokic does, the same thing of what he's doing right now, there's like no reason he wouldn't win it then.
Yeah.
But at this point, it would be, because Giannis is top 3 right now, and I feel like he's just flying under the radar because the Bucks aren't that good. I mean, they're good, but they're not that good.
Yeah.
The Celtics, after like Tatum's maybe first couple years, they've been the best team in the East other than recently. Mm-hmm. And so you also have to think like Luka. Luka's going to win one too.
Dude.
That's what I was going to say.
And so
I always pick him to win it before the year starts, and then he still hasn't won one. So it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Tatum deserves it.
Tatum's 27 right now. I mean, he still has a lot of basketball to play. But, I mean, like, because I agree with all you guys. Like, I do want him to get one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The question is, like, will he? Like,
do you think he will?
I mean, I don't know. I do and I don't, just because, like, let's say not SGA this year, but Jokic does get it. Mm-hmm. Jokic gets his 4th. The year after, if SGA does the same thing, he'll for sure get it this time. And then, or, I mean, who knows? Because what if Luka comes back, like, just goes crazy on LA, and because he's on LA, they might, that might, and then it's Luka's year and it's SGA's year.
And then Wemby's going to be there by that point.
Wemby, didn't even mention him.
So I feel like it's tough for him, and I do like Tatum, but I don't know. I mean, I think his thing is gonna have to be like Finals MVP. Because I don't know if he'll get one.
That's probably what he's more focused on anyway. It's Finals MVP, and if the Celtics, win it this year and he wins Finals MVP, maybe next year he'll be motivated like to go out for that actual MVP. And I do think even if Shai wins it this year, Jokic, even if he has the same year he's having right now next year, the voters' fatigue still could be a factor, because we saw Bron in his prime win 3 in a row and then didn't win one after that. And there was multiple years where he could have won it, but the voters' fatigue was just like, Bron has 3 already. Let's go give it to someone else. So I mean, there's voters' fatigue just because Jokic doesn't win it this year could still play a factor next year.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
I hope Tatum gets it though. Shout out Milo. I think he will.
It's just tough. And then kind of
all right, so I do think Jayson Tatum will win an MVP in his career. I think he'll win one. That's my final take on that.
Okay.
But you look at a guy like Carmelo Anthony, who, I mean, he didn't go to the finals or win a finals like Jayson Tatum, but, similar stats, wing players, in a stacked league with a ton of wing players. Yeah. And Carmelo was in the conversation a lot, but never won one. Mm-hmm. So I do think Tatum has a chance to be similar to that, but in my opinion, he's going to go down as better than Carmelo Anthony. Already has the championship, and more of a well-rounded player, not just focused on getting his. Yeah. So I think that's why Tatum could, win the MVP. I think next year he could average around 8 assists a game. He's honestly the most important playmaker on that Celtics team.
100%.
So that's why I'm going to say yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then just curious, going back kind of the comparison with Carmelo, do you think Carmelo Anthony's like Hall of Fame, like for sure Hall of Fame?
I would say he's a lock, yeah.
So then with Tatum, like his career's over right now, would you put him in the Hall of Fame?
I'd put him in the Hall of Fame right now. Yeah. Same with like even Luka. He hasn't won a finals MVP or won a finals, won an MVP, anything like that, but his stats and being an All NBA first team, 5 times in a row is that's deserving of a Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about SGA though? Now, because this is tough because, I mean, obviously the glaze with SGA is right now, like it's rightfully so.
Valid.
However, SGA he's 26, but he's only a few months younger than Jayson Tatum, so they're around the same age. And Tatum, me personally, I feel like Tatum has accomplished more in his career than SGA.
For sure.
Obviously, Tatum got dealt a good hand. He got drafted by a really good franchise. SGA had to build his around. So, I mean, it is 2 different cards, but if SGA's career were to end, is he a Hall of Famer?
Ooh.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah.
I'm going to give him 2 years and he will be.
2
Because
years.
he'll probably win MVP in one of those 2 years and then probably win a finals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in 2 years, SGA is definitely Hall of Fame.
I agree. And I think he could also get it done within the next 2 years in the position that they're in and that team's in. But right now, I'd say no too. Yeah.
I would say just because there's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that are worse than SGA. If you go look at who's in the Hall of Fame, it's like, okay, this guy made it, then SGA, even if he retired tomorrow, still, he averaged 30 points a game last year, and now this year's averaging 32. So I think Shai has the numbers to put it in. Even though this NBA is a little inflated with the numbers just because of how many points everyone's scoring, still, he's just that much more skilled than a lot of those guys that are in the Hall of Fame. So I would say but that's a fun conversation to think about.
Pretty valid,
Alec, I know you've been tuned into the college game more than all of us for sure.
Yep.
Who, if you had to pick one surprise March Madness team, if you're locked in like that, any surprises you're looking out for?
Surprise as in like,
I don't know, maybe
like an upset, first time upset?
like a 14 seed beating the team, or 12 seed beating a 5, something like that.
Well, right now, I'm not sure how
the seeding is.
I don't think it's out yet. Selection Sunday will be when this episode drops.
Okay.
So, but I know right now UC San Diego, not San Diego State,
UC,
not University of San Diego, UC San Diego. They're like 26-4. I think they're in their conference's championship right now. They'll probably win. Even if they lose, they'll probably make the tournament. I think they're going to be like a 12 or 13 seed.
Okay.
Depending on who they play, that's definitely a potential upset to look for. I've seen a lot of people who follow the college basketball game say if they play Michigan, that that's favored for them in those upsets just because they force the other team to turn the ball over a lot. And then Michigan is one of those teams that does cough it up. So that's one of those teams.
That's fun. UC San Diego.
They're playing.
Some Cali
they're
love.
playing UC Irvine today at 6:40 for
And
the
that's the championship
for the
Nice.
Big West. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's one of those teams, and then just like probably the big better teams like Duke or Auburn, I would probably say it's tough right now because I think there's a lot of good teams right now, especially in college. The problem is Cooper Flag did just get hurt. I'm not sure the severity of it. I think he'll be fine for the tournament.
Yeah.
However,
It looked bad.
it could play a factor.
Yeah. It looked bad.
Yeah.
Is Duke, I haven't been watching too much college this year, but is Duke, the favorite to win it all?
Well,
If Cooper's healthy. Of course. Like, are they the best team in college basketball throughout this year, or is there someone that's been better?
I think he's going to be back in time. Duke superstar freshman expected to return for Blue Devils tournament.
Okay. That's big.
I mean, I do think the Duke team right now is probably one of their best teams. Probably the best team since Zion, RJ, Cam
that's what I was
Reddish.
thinking.
However, I was actually talking about this earlier today. It's always once Duke, because even last year when Duke made it to the Elite 8 or Sweet 16, with Jared when they played NC State was an 11 seed or whatever, and they upset Duke. So it could literally happen again.
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
it's March coming up. We'll try and get a bracket going for Wednesday or for next Saturday show. That could be fun. But yeah, March Madness coming up. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully we see some guys, guys flourish in that situation. A second round pick I don't know how Jalen Wells did last year in March Madness, but this is a time for guys like that to make a name for themselves and get in the draft.
He did do good.
He did good in March Madness. Okay, so
all those business majors.
Yeah,
that'd be going crazy.
Well, I think Washington State lost first round, but still, like, he had a good game, and everyone's watching. So I mean, it's the perfect time for a lot of those underrated players to. Yeah. I mean, once that tournament happens, everybody's watching, and it's always going to be some random 13, 14 seed with some random guy that's just going to go drop like 30, and everyone's like, oh, I want to watch
this guy. Burns. What was the guy?
I think DJ.
Yeah, DJ Burns.
And then that guy from St. Peter's with the white
shooter?
boy with the mustache.
Doug.
Doug.
He's tough.
Doug.
And the guy from Oakland.
Jack Goldie.
Yeah. He's in the G League. So.
With the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I was watching Teague's podcast the other day, and he was talking about how when he was entering the tournament, he went to Wake Forest.
Yep.
They were like a lower seed kind of thing, and he would see his name like hit the top 100, top 100 players, and then he would go out, kind of have like a shaky game, and he's just like, damn, my name's not on the list. Like, falling down.
I think that was the one with Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy was saying the same thing.
Exactly.
So that's pretty funny. But yeah, also I wanted to say that my guy, Pee Wee from Numbers on the Board, interviewed Jalen Wells, and Jalen Wells told him that after the college, his March Madness when they lost, his coach told him that he's making a big mistake going into the draft. And that's the opposite of what a lot of coaches do. They usually it's the players, like a Cooper Flagg example, he's going to go back to Duke and say, hey, I want to stay here. But the Duke head coach is probably going to be like, man, you're going to be the number one pick. You should go to the draft.
Yeah,
but sure. Jalen Wells' coach told him, you're going to make a mistake if you go to the draft. But obviously he was wrong about that. Jalen Wells probably going to win Rookie of the Year or second in the running. So shout out to our guy.
That is kind of crazy for a coach to be like, oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of get it, though, because you're like, I don't want you to leave. Yeah. But it's like telling him, like, oh, like, that's a big mistake. Like, that is kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
And Ty Jerome was just on his show as well, the next episode, and he said, and he brought that up, and Ty Jerome said when he was playing with all these guys, DeAndre Hunter and all those guys, his coach told him the complete opposite. Like, you need to go to the draft. You're that good. You're going to make the league. So, it's a funny situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can jump into Luke's Lock of the Week.
Luke's Lock of the Week. Luke's Lock of the Week. Before I get into my official Lock of the Week, I want to give a shout out to Bogdanovich.
Bogey.
Yeah.
30.
I mean, I guess I could have made this ICU, but I want to say it right now.
Shout out.
30 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists against Miami. Man's looking like that original Serbian sniper.
Yeah.
He's
the captain over there on that Serbian
team. I miss
team.
that guy.
Yeah.
I wish he would be, kind of perfect for us right now, the way, things
Definitely
are going.
Perfect. And he's on a team that is going, close with us in the standings.
Exactly.
The Clippers.
Yeah. And they're doing good lately, so.
Yeah. It's a big pickup for them.
Yeah, sorry, a little jump the gun on the ICU, but I'll do the Anthony Edwards for Lock of the Week.
Valid.
Tyler guessed this one for sure.
I did.
He's been going off last 3 games, like 28 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block. And then the Thunder, not the Thunder, sorry, my bad. The Timberwolves are also on a 7-game win streak.
7 in a row for Minnesota.
7 in a row. So
7 in a row.
And they're at a place in the standings where, they need those win streaks to lock in that
the
playoff.
Warriors, right? They're 7 seed right now?
Right there. So, they're getting hot at the right time. He's getting hot at the right time. One of my favorite players in the league. Love him.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Timberwolves, I was going to bring it up, won 7 in a row. Last night, came back against the Magic in the second half and won. Julius Randle's been playing very well as well. Had 22 points last night. But Anthony Edwards, he's someone that learns from his mistakes. Early in the year, he was complaining about not wanting to pass the ball, getting trapped every game, and the Timberwolves were, down in the standings. They were losing a lot of games, and they couldn't figure it out. Anthony Edwards said he watched tape on Luka Doncic to see how he dealt with the tough traps and the double teams and blitzing the pick and roll. And ever since then, he's integrated that into his game. And now he's making everyone else around him better. Like Julius Randle now can play his game a little more. Yep. And Dante DiVincenzo is also a guy who was a big pickup for them, had a rough start to the year, and now he's going off.
He's going off.
Anthony Edwards is, taking over in Minnesota.
Yep. Will he win an MVP, do you think?
Oof. I would say yeah.
I would probably disagree.
He's only 22.
He's only 22.
Okay.
That's crazy.
That might spew my opinion.
Yeah, he's got some time.
I don't know. I mean, because, the talk about like face of the league, like who's going to be the face of the league. And
Yeah.
I think there was something about Anthony Edwards. I don't know if he said he wanted to or not.
He said he doesn't.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what they got Wemby for.
So, I mean, I changed my mind. He probably will win one, but I think he'll only win one.
Yeah, I could see that.
His points has gone up every single year. 19, 21, 24, 25, 27.
27.
He's only 22 years
And
old.
he's only 22.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Crazy. He's also leading the league in 3-point. Or he was leading the league most of the year in 3-point makes. I think now it's Malik Beasley, but they're right there neck and neck. But in the offseason, he said he watched a ton of tape on Damian Lillard. And now he's one of those guys that learns from watching tape. You know, he said he watched Luka. Now he knows how to deal with the double teams a lot better. Watch a guy like Damian Lillard, and now he's shooting a lot more deep threes and shooting a lot more just better shots from three. So
For some reason, I kind of remember when he first came into the league. I think there was an issue on him not watching tape. Right? I'm pretty sure.
he said he doesn't really watch hoop like
Yeah, I
that.
remember he didn't watch any
That's funny.
tapes at all, and now he's watching everything.
Hey, maturity. Once you
maturity.
get older, you've been in the league for a minute. It's like,
Yeah.
he realized.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess we can move on to ICU.
Yeah.
My pick, I have two guys, both from the same team, the Toronto Raptors.
Okay.
Making a name for themselves out there. You know, not a lot of guys are playing for this team anymore. They're giving a lot of guys chances. First guy is Orlando Robinson, who was on the
Shout
Kings to
out.
start the year. Had 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists the other night.
Fuck.
All career highs. Every stat he had was a career high.
Who'd they play?
The Sixers, and they beat the Sixers.
Of course.
But also, I have three guys just from this game alone.
I'm pissed.
Jared Rhoden.
I don't like that.
Jared Rhoden, who is someone I did not know who it was before the year started, and now he's making a name for himself out there in Toronto, had 25, 12, and 5.
Dang.
And then another guy who I also didn't know before the year started, A.J. Lawson, had 28 points. A.J. Lawson and Jared Rhoden look very similar, and they're both 6'5", 6'6" guards, so I was getting them confused the whole game, but both of them were just knocking down threes, playing defense. They're both athletic, so Toronto might have something cooking over there.
They sound like a March Madness team.
They
right
do.
now, bro.
They do. They
Hey,
do.
that play that Jordan Clarkson made though on AJ Lawson.
Yeah.
I don't know if that dribble play around him. That was nice.
That was nice. Jordan
That was
Clarkson
nice.
got the handles for sure.
I wanted to shout out one more guy,
Okay.
KPJ in Milwaukee.
Shout out.
22 points against the Lakers. the
Dev's
other night.
favorite player.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
Go ahead,
Why not, bro?
we don't speak on it.
He doesn't like what he does off the court,
No,
which is
I mean,
valid.
Oh,
valid.
But he's been balling.
Valid.
He's been balling in
I'm
Milwaukee.
not supporting it. This is basketball.
We're talking about what's going on
Talking
the
ball.
court.
But I mean, 22 points off the bench for the Bucks. He's a baller.
that might be a good pickup for them.
Yeah, he's going to be big in the playoffs coming off the bench. His three-point shot looks so smooth. He's got that lefty stroke. Pause. But, so when those lefties are knocking down threes, it's tough to guard.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, guess we're flying through. Dev, I know you're disappointed in our Kings. Tell me what you're most disappointed in here in Sac.
I mean, we kind of hammered it home in the earlier part of the show, but just all-around effort right now from everybody. I mean, we got the couple guys coming off the bench, Laravia and Keon. That's like what I want to translate to everybody. And the effort that they're playing with right now, that's how the game has to start. That's how it has to be in the middle, and that's how it has to be at the end. Like, don't let up with off of that type of energy. And I think if they keep doing that and they play with some intensity and urgency, like this is an urgent point in time right now. Like, you're probably going to be in the play-in, whether you get out of that or not. It's just going to depend on how you finish the year. And if they finish the year like that, I think they'll have a good chance at that. But it's just something we're not seeing right now, and I'm very disappointed with.
Very disappointed in the Kings. Need more heart.
That's the calmest disappointment I've ever heard.
We got it all out earlier in the show, but yeah, still rough here in Stack.
Yeah. Some gloomy weather for some gloomy fears.
Yeah, gloomy weather for the gloomy games. But we can move on to some games last night around the NBA. The Cavs beat the Grizzlies in Memphis. John Morant had 44 points, a season high for him.
Yeah.
Looks like he's getting his rhythm under him. Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane, though, both struggled. Bane only had 12 and Jaren only had 13. Does Memphis have a problem with finding their number two guy?
Nah.
No?
Nah, everybody has off nights.
Yeah.
I mean, Jackson's definitely their two guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
He is.
And then Desmond Bane is a close second. But, I mean, everybody has off nights, and that was an off night last night for them for sure.
I agree. And Jaren Jackson's been having a pretty good year.
Crazy
We were
year.
talking about it being maybe his team earlier in the year without Ja. Ja's back. We obviously know that's not the case, but he's definitely solidified that number 2 for sure.
Yeah.
And like you said, everybody's got to have an off night.
And
Ja,
then-
Davion.
They're also playing the Cavs.
Yeah.
One of the top 3 team in the league. So it's tough to really like keep that whole consistency up.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, since we're talking about the Cavs, if they win, obviously this might not happen. Actually, probably won't happen. But if they win the rest of their games, their record's gonna be like 72-10, right?
Oh wait, do they have 10 losses? That would be
That's
pretty
actually
insane.
So,
Tie the Bulls record.
do you think they're already on a 16, 17 game win streak?
Damn.
Do you think they could go
16
undefeated?
game win streak.
Do you think they could go undefeated the rest of the year and tie the
Let me check.
Bulls?
There's
I'm gonna say no.
no.
I think the Kings beat them once.
What?
I'm putting faith. I'm still gonna say we play them twice coming up. The Kings haven't played the Cavs this year, so we play them twice in the next couple weeks.
We beat them.
We beat them
At
once.
home or away?
Fuck.
Yeah, because I already said I think the Kings are going to go 2-1 in their next 3, and the game they're going to lose is against Cleveland. So that means they'd have to win in Cleveland, which seems near impossible. But
I don't know.
I believe in DeMar dropping 45.
I don't think the Cavs are going to win the rest of the season. But,
Yeah.
I mean, getting 2 wins against them is going to be tough.
Looks like their schedule's pretty easy coming
Yeah,
up.
It's a really easy
I
schedule.
think they can do it, honestly. Me
They
and
might
Luke were
be
talking
able
about
to.
that the other day, and then we looked at the schedule, and we were like, I just didn't know they would be 72-10 by the end of it, but I think they can, and that'd be
Now-
pretty sick.
Now, what's the win streak record? Is it the Lakers with 30 something, like the old Lakers?
I thought the Warriors.
Warriors said it, right?
I know the
no.
Warriors started the year off with the best. They started out 24-0
Yeah.
when they went 73-9. I know that was the best start to a year ever. I'm not sure if it was the longest win streak ever.
So they would have to win 32 games in a row.
beat that?
Like that's counting the 16.
rest of the year?
That's counting the 16 game win streak they're on right
It's
now.
like
Yeah.
40
If they win the
something
rest,
games.
that would be a 32 game win streak.
32 game win
So
streak
there's-
is insane.
There's
But
like
isn't,
15 games left.
Didn't
Yeah.
the Kobe
Or 16.
Lakers or with Shaq or something? Didn't they go 33 wins in a row or something?
Yeah,
wasn't
I
that
think so.
the most?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So they'd be 1 win shy of that.
not
One or
crazy.
two.
Cap
going into
They
playoffs?
won. Yeah, they won 33 in a row. It was Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain had 33 games in a row.
Kobe and Shaq.
Was that even real? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Shout
I
out
mean,
to
that
Will.
would be crazy. Ending the year on a 32 game win streak.
Dude, looking at their schedule, they have an easy
is
schedule.
possible.
They play the Spurs, the Jazz. Their
They played
hardest
the
game.
Pacers like twice.
Yeah,
or
their
3
hardest
times.
game might be the Pistons. The Pistons
play
are
the-
good, but they can beat the Pistons. on any night.
Trailblazers. They play the Clippers too. Clippers have been.
They play the
Now-
Knicks maybe without Brunson.
Now here's a question too. If you're the Cavs and let's say you get 27 wins in a row,
Yeah,
you're I mean they already clinched.
They already have
they
the
already clinched the
first.
playoff
Now,
spot.
Yeah.
do you risk injury in pursuing that win streak, or do you just be like, hey, I'm gonna rest my guys, what?
Such a tough spot to be
I
in. Such a
don't-
tough spot.
Don't rest because.
Don't rest?
No,
Cool.
I just remember.
I agree with that.
And then Darius Garland turns an ankle.
Well, I mean,
It can happen just like that.
It can.
It can happen
Well, then-
stepping on someone's foot.
Don't rest, but don't play as hard. Like
That's a horrible way to.
I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying, and it's a valid point, but I
people,
think
like,
that's
I just
a
remember
horrible
last.
way to go about it.
Yeah, horrible way. I mean, but look what happened to the Nuggets last year.
Yeah.
They had a rest because of the playing tournament.
They did.
And then this team comes in hot.
Yeah, the
and
Timberwolves, and they beat 'em.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So keep your players fresh. Don't rest them because then they're gonna get cold.
That's a good point. I mean, maybe the Cavs do they play their guys the rest of the year, but then they
Doo-doo. Sorry.
yeah, that was funny. They take a guy like Donovan Mitchell, max 25 minutes a
Yeah.
night, or Garland 20 minutes a night, something like that. They do have a lot of guys off the bench
Yeah, they have a
who are
pretty
balling. So
That's
solid.
what I was
bench.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Not necessarily go for it, but still playing your guys. Just nothing no Tom Thibodeau minutes out here.
oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely not.
Yeah. So you said the bench. Their bench had 18 points by the beginning of the second quarter. I think last game. It
Damn.
was insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ty Jerome, I hope he wins Most Improved Player or Sixth Man. One of them probably won't, but he'll be in the running.
Not
Yeah.
Norman. You don't.
He
I
doesn't
think-
play enough games.
I
He's
think-
out of the running.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah,
Wait,
I know
who?
it's that. Norman Powell for Most Improved.
Oh,
That's-
yeah.
Because he was going to win it.
Yeah.
He's going to be the oldest player to win
Now
it
it's gonna
ever.
be Cade.
That's
No, I don't think
yeah.
it should be Cade.
It shouldn't
I don't
be
think
Cade.
it should be because he's number one pick. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Go, it shouldn't go to number one.
Everyone
pick.
knew he was going to. Last year he averaged 22, and now it's 27, 26.
Yeah.
It's that's not a Most Improved Player type of jump.
Because because then let's say he does with like 26, 27, jumps 5 points, and he's averaging like 32. Like that's MVP level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously you could say that's improved, but realistically, like Luke says, the number one pick. Like obviously, his first year he might not be like Wemby status, but over time, same with Anthony Edwards. Like over time, he's progressively getting better. But yeah, I think Ty Jerome should win that because most likely Peyton Pritchard's winning six man.
Yeah.
I just don't see him not winning it.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves it. I want him to win
That
it.
dude dropped 40 off the bench with 10 threes.
40 off the bench is crazy.
That's insane.
Generational run this year for the West.
Generational.
Imagine,
That's true, though.
Imagine Jokic wins MVP. Six man is
Peyton Pritchard,
what other
Ty
awards?
Jerome, most improved,
Most improved.
defensive player. Who could
Well,
win
it's gonna be Dyson. Maybe not.
Did I call
Hey, he's
Dyson
light-skinned.
Daniels? Hey, he's
Half white.
It counts.
Alex Caruso. No, he's not even close.
Dude, he
but,
doesn't even play.
No, he doesn't get minutes.
The Thunder are stacked.
but that would be pretty crazy because then Mac McClung already won dunk contest.
my God! Tyler Hero won the 3-point
yep.
contest.
That would be a generational white man run
That
in
would
the
be
NBA.
crazy.
Shout out to the Caucasian community.
Shout
man.
out. Well, I think Cade still might win most improved, even though I hope he doesn't. Just because of the jump the Pistons had as a team.
Yeah.
I think they're more focused on the team than his jump in points per game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the argument there, but I disagree with it. It should go to a guy who's, got more minutes and improved his game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, went from like you said, like not playing to playing and actually, it making the team, helping the roster.
Yeah, Ty Jerome was good last year, but he had a lot of games where he had DMPs.
Yeah.
He was still at the end of that bench. And
Yeah.
now he's their main guy off the bench,
Yeah.
him and DeAndre Hunter. So,
Yep.
yeah. Couple more games. We'll go on to the Lake Show out in LA. They lost to the Nuggets last night in a close one. They didn't have LeBron or Luka. Austin Reeves, 37 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists. Dalton Connect with 32 points. So my boys putting on in LA. they're showing
Keeping
out.
the theme going.
Man.
Keeping the theme going. But Jamal Murray, nothing new for him. Another game winner against the Lakers.
Hey, I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
I
I love
love
That's like 3 against them, 4 against them. Sorry.
Yeah, it can go. He probably has
it's up
10
there.
in his career,
Yeah.
and a couple of them were in the playoffs.
Bro
So.
hates the Lakers.
Bro hates the Lakers.
Yeah.
But Jokic, 28 points, and Christian Braun, 22 points. So he's going off too. Christian Braun is huge for the Nuggets.
That's the boy. I love Christian Braun.
Yeah.
Him and Westbrook running down the court together, you don't know who's gonna lob it to who.
Yeah,
And
true.
then I was listening. I was listening to a plane right now, Flash.
What'd you say?
No, it was Christian Braun running down the lane, going up for a dunk, and then the Nuggets announcer goes, "Yabba dabba doo!" I was like, "What the?" It was pretty funny though.
Hey, Christian Braun is a shit talker too.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize it until a couple nights ago, but last night he got a fast break, dunked, and Dalton Connect. He didn't jump to go contest the dunk, but he kind of reached over, tried to swipe down on it, and Christian Braun looked at the camera. He said, "I'd watch out if I were you."
Oh, hey,
It was a pretty monster dunk too.
white on white
Yeah.
crime is
White on
kind
white.
of crazy.
It is. Our guy Bronny, 5 points, 16 minutes.
Hey.
Got some minutes out there early in the game too.
Let's
Hit
go,
a 3 over
Bronny.
Jokic.
Let's go, Bronny.
Yeah.
Did better than Bryce last night.
Yeah, how did you were in the arena
Oh,
for
yeah,
Bryce's game last night in Sac?
Yep.
How'd that go?
So, it was a really good game. Sierra Canyon versus Lincoln of Stockton. Lincoln put on, it was damn near a home game for them. But I was excited to see Bryce. First time ever seeing Bryce in person. I've seen a lot on, Instagram, a bunch of videos, him hitting threes, this and this. He's committed to Arizona. He was a brick last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he start?
He did.
Okay.
He did
I heard
start.
he comes off the bench still.
I
so
thought he
it's good
did
to see
too.
that he starts.
Yeah, I thought he did too. But he started that game. I don't know if it's just the NBA arena, because of the.
It's different.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
depth
Rights were too
perception.
light.
Yeah.
Rights were too light.
They kind of were.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to do at Arizona. But yeah, he was 0 for 6 or 0 for 7 from 3. He had 3 points total. He only had 1 layup. He had a couple turnovers.
But they won.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sierra Canyon won by 4. It was actually a really good game. But yeah, I could see the potential in Bryce, and I think going to a school like Arizona will be good for his development. Now, depending on how much he plays, I don't know because I know LeBron wants to play with him. Obviously, he's not going to say that publicly. But I just don't see Bryce going one and done.
Yeah, I was going to say he's probably not a one and done.
Yeah.
If he is, it's just because it's LeBron.
Yeah.
That's going to be the
It'd
reason.
be the same scenario. Lakers draft him at like 55.
Yeah. I mean, Bronny probably shouldn't have been a one and done either. I mean, he sat out most of the year, but before the year started, he was projected to be like a lottery type of pick.
Yeah.
So that's why. But Bryce is not even really close to that. So.
Well, then, people debate like Bronny or Bryce. People think Bryce is better. I mean, I kind of find that disrespectful to Bronny because, I mean, we were all, okay, not all, but like a lot of people were glazing Bronny on like, because he's super athletic.
Yeah.
He was a really good shooter, especially like in high school before he had like the heart problem when he went to USC. Then after that, it's kind of where it all went downhill. Like, they just were monitoring his minutes.
Yeah.
And then I just think it was like uncomfortable for him to play. Like he was only averaged like 4 or 5 points at USC.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, Bryce is taller. He is taller. He does have like a more NBA body.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he could get a little bigger. But yeah, I mean, maybe it was just an off night for him. But yeah, I mean, because from what it looks like, he could shoot, but like he just couldn't make a shot. That game.
We played in Golden One. It was tough to shoot.
Yeah,
honestly.
It was.
Even in warm-ups, I feel like I was breaking most of my shots.
I mean, I remember that game. I made 1 3, and then I airballed my second one. I was just like, bro.
It's tough to get your legs under
Not
you
for
in that.
NBA players,
Yeah.
though, unfortunately.
Not for
In
playing
Golden One, against the Kings, they shoot well.
You got me
But
tripping. I'm hot out there on the court.
how good did it feel to be that close to the aura of the GOAT,
Bro.
LeBron James? You were
I'm not gonna
right
lie.
by him.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like LeBron, like if you watch videos on like Instagram, like because they posted a couple, but like you know how like the tunnel when they walk in, there's like this side and this side in the Kings, and like the bleachers are right here. So they thought he was coming out on this side, and like the opposite school, so like Lincoln of Stockton's like student section's all on this side because I'm on this side.
Yeah.
They thought LeBron was coming, so they he probably just walked by and they all flooded that side. They're like, LeBron. And then like he comes back on this side, and then they all move to this side.
No way.
Bro, everyone's standing ovation just for LeBron.
Just to walk in the building?
Everyone's got their phones recording. I'm just like, bro, this is aura, bro.
That's aura. That's
I'm like,
aura.
I cannot lie.
Damn.
That's
like,
the GOAT.
Bro, no one even cared about like the warm-ups anymore. It's just all LeBron. LeBron sits down. Everyone's still trying to get a picture of him.
Yeah.
Just like,
So he was courtside?
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
He was coaching up, too.
He was coaching.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That-
I don't know.
that's
Just
funny.
it's comical that it's happening in Golden One Center.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Well, it's funny because like LeBron was so hated, and now he's like so loved.
Yeah.
Everybody glazes Bronny.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Bron.
I think it's just because the longevity of it. It's just like everybody was just like, I can't hate on it. All the hate's gone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's going still doing MVP numbers.
Yeah.
LeBron. No.
Yeah. He's still one of the best players in the league, and hopefully we get some more years out of Braun.
Yeah.
Because the NBA is going to change.
Dude,
Oh,
Luka's
for sure.
pumping that into him.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, I'm playing with.
He's
the
doing
next
what?
greatest-
He's what?
Sorry, I had to.
That's what, yeah, that was, yeah.
Doing what? Well, yeah, Luka, even when LeBron's out the other night against the Bucks, he had 45.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but he sat out last night. Hopefully he's okay. But
Carrying the weight like Luka Doncic.
shout out Kendrick. Yeah, well, anything else? I guess we can predict some games coming up.
Arvin should
Bet.
Yeah. Our-
No, yeah, let's predict some games. Let's do some predictions.
There's some good ones coming up.
I think we did pretty good on our predictions last time, no?
Yeah,
But not the Kings ones.
Not the-
I never did on the Kings ones. I never did.
We always overshoot the Kings
Yeah.
because we always think, oh yeah, they should win this game, and then they well, tonight the Knicks are in Golden State to play the Warriors without Brunson. Who we going with there?
Golden
Warriors.
State,
I'll say the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
What are they? What are they? 14-2. Like
14-2 when
Yep.
Jimmy plays.
crazy.
That's crazy.
even do
He's not even doing that good.
You know what's crazy though, especially because like James is a big Warriors fan.
Yeah.
I definitely was like, bro, Jimmy's not gonna help. Like when that trade happened, I was like,
Yeah.
bro, Jimmy's not gonna help. Like it's not gonna do anything because they got rid of Wiggins, they got rid of a couple other guys.
Yeah.
I thought that was like key pieces.
Uh-huh.
Just all of a sudden, Curry's playing like Curry.
Yeah.
Draymond's over here scoring 29 points.
Jesus,
like
yeah.
I'm just like, bro, what? And then like all their other guys are just. All their bench guys are contributing.
Yeah. Guy Santos
Guy
balling.
Santos.
Moody looks good.
Yeah, Moody. All those guys.
No
Yeah.
problem integrating Kuminga back into the lineup.
Yeah.
Came back in 20 plus.
Yeah. because it was against the Kings.
Oh, yeah.
So he was getting to the rim at ease, getting to the rim whenever he
You
wanted.
guys get me hot again, man.
Yeah, that Warriors team, low key scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, my dad brought this up a while ago after Steph, started going off when Jimmy came to the team. The numbers where Steph was averaging 22 before Jimmy got there, and since he's averaging over 30. And I think my dad said this. It's kind of because Steph wants someone to like kind of show off to. Like Jimmy's never played with Steph. James said the same thing as well. He's like Steph just wants to show Jimmy how good he really is. And like those first couple games, Steph was hitting turnaround threes, looking at Jimmy on the bench, pointing at him. Jimmy's in the press.
That's interesting.
Post game
right?
saying like, "Man, I've never played with someone like this. This is crazy." But I feel like Steph is just trying to put on a show, motivating him a little more to put on a show.
That I could definitely see that, because if you think of like Jimmy's past teams, like especially from where he started in Chicago, going to the Timberwolves. I mean, the Sixers was probably like Embiid's the best player he's played with.
That team was really good too.
Yeah, and I mean Embiid, of course, don't get me wrong, is really good, but he's just always hurt, so we never see him anymore.
Yeah.
And then like recently with Miami, the best players. I mean, you could kind of debate Bam or Tyler Hero, but yeah, I mean, just all those players. I mean, Curry definitely wipes the floor with every single one of them. Like Hall of Famer, no doubt. He's already got 4 rings. Like I could see Curry being like, "Oh, Jimmy, like you're good, but let me show you something else."
Yeah. So it's motivating him to put up more numbers. And yeah, I mean, it's working out perfectly.
Yeah.
Golden State, they're going to go on a run. I'm saying
They are
gonna,
on a run.
They're gonna, well, in the playoffs, I mean, they're going to go on a run, making it to at least the Western Conference Finals.
Ooh,
I
hot
think-
takes.
Yeah.
Okay, how
I
about
think
this?
they could beat the Nuggets or the Thunder.
If the standings stay the same right now, Lakers, Warriors, first round matchup.
I'm going Warriors. Steph don't lose.
Even with Luka and LeBron.
All right, we have Jimmy and Draymond locking that up. I'm kidding. Not locking that up. I think the Warriors match up very well with the Lakers.
I heard your confidence slowly go down.
Because then I'm like, I don't know about locking up, but yeah.
I mean, I kind of
It
think
would be a
there's.
good matchup.
It would
I
be
will
fun.
say, like with how good they're doing right now, that Lakers and Lakers in 6.
Yeah.
Or no, that's 5 game.
Lakers and 5.
No, it's 7.
That's 7.
Yeah,
for sure?
it's 7 all around.
Okay, yeah. My bad.
I think it'd be 7.
You think you go 7?
Yeah.
I think Lakers in 6.
I mean, NBA would have to have it go 7. They'd be like, if
Yeah.
LeBron and Steph are meeting in the first round, it's got to go 7.
They would
That's
also
true.
be so mad that that's a first round.
Yeah,
matchup,
exactly.
but not a-
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like they would be sick to their stomach if that's a first round, but also at the same time, and this is what I brought up to James because I talked to him the other day about this. If that is a first round matchup, now let's just look at this for LeBron's legacy because everyone glazes LeBron, right? If LeBron has to go through Curry, Jimmy first round and he wins, second round he would have to play Jokic and the Nuggets, and if he beats them, he would
Then
have
you
to go
play
through-
Sacramento.
He would have to play
The Thunder.
the Thunder. And if he wins all of those and wins the finals, bro, they would literally just glaze that one playoff series and be like, "Oh, LeBron's the best ever."
Yeah.
And I mean, he already is.
I
but
mean, that would
That
definitely
might
be
that's
would
a good
solidify.
take because that might solidify a lot of Jordan fans to go over to the other side.
Yeah.
Say LeBron actually is the GOAT.
yeah,
Because
because those
doing
are
that at 40 years old. 40 years old.
Happy
I mean, even with the addition of Luka, is still like that's a crazy like
Yeah.
playoff run. I mean, to beat the Warriors first round, then you have to beat Jokic second round, and then go through probably the best team in the West. I mean, obviously the best team in the West third round.
Yeah.
In the Western Conference Finals, if the Thunder get there, like, I mean, and then you could flip it for Curry. Same argument,
That's
right?
true.
Curry beats LeBron with Luka
Yeah.
first round, second round, obviously Jokic MVP or whatever, and then SGA's if he wins MVP or not,
Yeah.
and then if
And
they
the
get to the finals and beat Boston
again?
come on, bro.
He might be top 3 all time. He might be number 3. Steph
He might be number
3 after
2,
that. He
bro.
might be number 2. No, Jordan might be number 3.
No more Bron era, bro. Steph era.
Steph era. Yeah, that's a good point. This could impact the legacies a lot more than we think, even in the older years, because the argument could be, hey, what was Jordan doing at 40? Going and smoking cigars at the casino? So,
Do you blame him?
I mean, yeah, he had his time, but like, bro. I mean, even Steph's 37. It's like we're over. I mean, like James says this a lot, but it's like we overlook the fact that he's 37 doing what he's doing.
37.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Just turned
bro,
37.
Dude, it's
yeah.
a-
yeah,
End
bro's
of an era.
old. Bro's old.
End of an era in
Bro's
the
up.
NBA.
Yeah, Steph
Bro's
is up
done.
there.
Yeah, well, some other games coming up. The Thunder are in Milwaukee to play the Bucks tomorrow.
Right now, they're in Detroit playing the Pistons.
Oh, so back to back.
Yeah.
I got Detroit.
And tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what about tomorrow? Thunder Bucks.
I mean, the Bucks did just wipe the Lakers, but I'll probably say Thunder.
Yeah.
I'll go Thunder tonight. L on the second night of
That's
the
what I'm
back-to-back.
saying.
Okay.
Also, it says they start at 4, but it's 4:30 and the game's not started yet. So that's interesting.
Is it on TNT?
I'm saying
Must be on TNT.
OKC
Yeah.
tonight and then Bucks tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And then I think
one more game Monday. Nuggets in Golden State. I know we're talking a lot about the Warriors, but Nuggets Warriors. That's the best game.
Nuggets.
Damn.
Nuggets.
I'm going
honestly.
Dubs.
Bros hate.
I'm going Dubs.
Honestly,
I'm gonna go with the Nuggets.
I'll probably agree and say the Nuggets. It will be tough, but I'm solely picking the Nuggets just because James is glazing the Warriors a little too hard. He really thinks they'll wipe the floor with the Nuggets if they ever play them in the playoffs. I just don't think that's the case. I think it would be a really great series. You just can't write off the Nuggets, bro.
Yeah, they're really good, but
I'd like to see the Nuggets and Warriors in the Western Conference Finals.
that would be sick.
Yeah.
That would be a really good series.
That'd be disappointing for the Thunder, though.
It would be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's only their first year really as a solid squad like this. So.
What are you talking about? It's their second year.
Second year, but
They were
like
tied with-
Chet wasn't really here like last year, so like it's
I
their
mean,
first time being like
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's a good point because I mean, like you said, they're 11 games better than everybody.
Yeah.
Where
Yep.
last year they were tied with the Nuggets.
Yeah.
So.
So I mean, the Thunder got plenty of time. That's,
Yeah,
that's how
they
I'm
do.
feeling about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too much time before the playoffs, and then it's going to be really heating up. So some
Yeah.
fun times coming up. But
Some reward predictions coming up.
yeah, next week we'll be doing our awards. Anything else before we close out, boys? No.
No.
Good to go.
Shoot.
Let's go A's. Baseball
go,
starting
A's.
out. MLB The Show's out. Shout out Randy. I know you're playing it. All right. Well, we're going to close out. Alec, thanks for coming on. It was great to have you back
Appreciate it.
on.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get you on a
Back,
lot
man.
more coming up for sure.
Yep.
But all right, we'll close out. Beam City Sports.
Cheers.